Whether he be out and about with students or in the classroom, one particular teacher seems to have a presence wherever he goes. Religious studies teacher Mr. Hayes strives to be a positive influence to CB students. But this motivation to build relationships with students started as a sophomore in high school, when Mr. Hayes discovered his vocation.
I decided to become a teacher when I was a sophomore in high school. I had a couple teachers that I really liked and admired, and I thought it would be a good lifestyle, a good profession. As a sophomore, when you're 15 years old, you just think, wow, that looks like fun.
After high school, Mr. Hayes followed through with his passion and entered the Brothers.
The reason you enter the Brothers is because you either admire people that are in it or they're doing something that you want to do. The reason you stay in the Brothers is because you develop a spiritual life that allows for a spiritual growth that brings you closer to God.
However, his love for building relationships with students conflicted with his commitment to the Brothers.
I didn't want my relationships ripped apart in that fashion. So that I think had a lot to do with me leaving.
As a result of his experience with the Brothers, Mr. Hayes developed a unique teaching philosophy centered around building and strengthening relationships.
It's always about relationship, and it's always about understanding that they have relationships with family, with friends, with self, with God, and making sure that they can express what they feel about those relationships. Making sure that the students, when they come to class, there's something for them to learn from me, and something for me to learn from them, and for them to learn from each other. I'm not the deposit of truth.
In the eyes of his students, Mr. Hayes helps them gain perspective on their life and shows genuine compassion for each and every one of his students.
Mr. Hayes is just such a genuine person. He never fails to make sure that me and my classmates are doing well, not only in school, but our life in general and everything about it. He has such a different point of view on just so many topics, and it just really has made me think about the decisions I can make and how they can affect me and also the other people around me.
Mr. Hayes' presence in his students' lives extends beyond the classroom.
Mr. Hayes, in my opinion, has one of the best relationships that I've seen with students. I constantly see him out talking with them, whether it's at break or often at sports events. I see him everywhere I go. He's at almost all the football games. He was at my basketball games last year. He's at the volleyball games. He was even making sure that the volleyball team was not being taunted at Holy Court, and it just speaks volumes about him.
Inside and out of the classroom, Mr. Hayes continues to demonstrate the importance of building relationships.